What's up, guys? It's Trevor with Embers Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Today we're starting a brand new segment called How to Grill or Smoke for the Working Man or Woman. The idea is there's tons of good videos already out there on how to make and smoke plenty of different meats or really anything really. But the idea of these videos is we want to really show you if you're so busy, if you're working, you don't have time to babysit something for 8 or 9 hours, you don't have a fancy YouTube studio with a professional outdoor kitchen, how can you make delicious food at home easy if you're busy and working all day? So that's what we're going to show you today. So we're going to try some pulled pork. So we have a pork butt here, and I'm a business owner. I just got into the office, and we don't have a fancy outdoor kitchen set up. You can see we're in our massive break room that we designed here. You can't even see the end of the walls. That's how big this perfect spot is to be cooking this kind of stuff. No, but it's simple, easy to do. We're gonna show you how to do it. The plan is hopefully, I love my job. You know, come down here, get to cook food, sell some fireplaces, sell some barbecues all day. Hopefully the place will be filled with customers. I'm not gonna be having time to sort of babysit this thing all day. So we're gonna get it on the smoker, then we'll be working all day, and then we'll pull it off and we'll be good to go. So I'm gonna show you how easy it is to do something like this at home, even if you're at work all day. All you need is some good food and a basic smoker or a gas grill, depending on the type of video that we're doing. You can do this at home. So we have our Traeger running outside, just fired it up. For pulled pork, it calls for apple pellets, so we filled it with apple pellets. So what you're gonna wanna do is you need a good Traeger or a smoker, but we do have Traegers here, and we downloaded the Traeger app. So if you want to find a good recipe for pulled pork, let's say you just go in here, you type in pulled pork. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do smoked Traeger pulled pork. So we're gonna click on that, and it's super easy. It tells us what to use. It says use apple hardwood pellets, which we have here, Traeger big game rub, some apple cider vinegar, and or just apple cider rather, and then some aluminum foil. So we have that. We have our big game rub. By the way, the apple pellets, big game rub, are in stock in our showroom here in Westminster. A little shameless plug there, but come down, get these products if you need them. We have our Traeger tray here and our meat. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We turn the Traeger on outside. So essentially what we want to do is we want to have this seasoned and ready. So a lot of mistakes that people make is they don't, one, use enough seasoning, I think, and two, they'll just sort of pour it on like that and sort of call it good. But you can't really do that. You gotta really get down and dirty. Obviously you want your hands clean, but you really want to rub that seasoning, sort of massage it into the meat. That's a big step because that's what's gonna allow those flavors to sort of penetrate into this. And I just love sort of loading this thing up where you can't even see the meat under it. That's just me though, you know. Some people don't have they have more of a sensitive palate. They don't like quite as much flavor, but I love flavor. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on. Like I said, the point is, you know, this is gonna take sort of 10, 15 minutes of prep work. You throw it on, go to work, and then you're gonna call it good. And then come home and have some delicious pulled pork, almost like barbecue restaurant style, from your local barbecue house. And you don't need anything fancy. It certainly is easier if you're gonna be gone for the day to have a Wi-Fi product, because especially on the Traeger app, we're gonna show you how we use that. But what we do is we put our meat probe in, we can know the temperature of this thing. So let's say it's cooking a little faster than we want. We can turn our Traeger down at work, right on our phones. So that's the idea of what makes it easy for the working man. If you're busy, like I said, with a pellet smoker, if you're not familiar with pellet smokers, the way those work is they're pellet fed. So pellets, flavored pellets, kind of feed into a burn pot, which creates a little fire. And then it's gonna smoke essentially in that process. And the way you can so easily control temperatures versus like a real wood fireplace or a real cooking on real wood is there's an auger motor which is feeding the pellets, which is going to control how big the fire is. So you have perfect temperature controls with a pellet smoker. That's why I like to use them so much, is they're so easy to use. And like I said, hopefully I'm gonna be busy all day selling fireplaces. I just have the best job in the world. I get to come here, make delicious food, sell some fireplaces, which is fun, sell some barbecues hopefully today, and pull pulled pork off and have a delicious dinner. So very excited. I wore my Traeger shirt today for this video. Okay, so you can see, makes a big mess. So we are ready to get this on the grill. First thing I had to do is wash my hands up. So I'm gonna wash up, and we're gonna put this baby on the smoker. Okay, so we are out here today, and unfortunately the day I chose to do this video, it's not very nice outside. That's okay, because this puppy's gonna hold temperature even when it's cold out. So the app says, see, we've got our tablet here, it says to preheat this thing to 250. So we're gonna smoke at 250. So we know what flavor pellets to use. We have our apple pellets in here. We have our big game rub on, and we know what temperature. So this recipe really makes it very easy for us. And then essentially what we're gonna do is lift this lid. We're gonna put our pork butt right on the grilling, cooking grates itself. And then your Meat Pro, you really want to get it in there. You want it right in the middle, sort of the fattest, thickest part of the pork butt, because that's what the internal temperature is, what we want them reading at. And then that's it. You can see we've got our Memphis grill going too. Another little plug, these are in stock down here at Westminster. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but they are here. Memphis grills for lunch, because this is going to take all day. We're not going to be able to eat this till dinner time, which is the exact point. If you're working all day, you don't got time to sit here and cook this thing. So what we do now is we got our app here. We'll close that, cancel it. We go over to our Wi-Fi, and you can see now that we have this set up. We have manual cook mode, set the grill at 250, and we have our meat probe, and we're gonna set the temp to 160. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna set our temperature to 160. That's when we need to know that it's done. So that's what's so great, is if you're at home working, or you're just working, not at home rather, you know the temperature of your grill, and you know the temperature of the meat. We know it's set at 44, or right now it's at 44. So if that's approaching temp faster than you want to, you just turn the grill down. So you can totally keep an eye on this. Let's say it cooked too fast, you can put it in keep warm mode, and you're ready to go. So we're gonna come back and check on this. But again, the idea is that easy. So now I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna be in here working all day. Hopefully, like I said, be busy. I'm just gonna keep this by my desk and be checking on it throughout the day. And I'm gonna do a few other things to sort of spice this baby up. Okay, so we got it on, everything's set and ready. Now technically at this point, you don't have to do anything else. Now I'm going a little rogue. I'm going off the recipe, just because I think it's kind of fun. We have Jacobsen salt. This is cherrywood smoked salt. The only reason I'm going to add some salt is can't hurt, right? I mean, what's the downside of having a little extra salt? I think it's kind of fun. A little extra salt never hurts, because we're not really going to flip this. This is going to stay just like this. So I just like to throw a little bit of extra salt on this guy, because I just don't see a downside. So I'm going to do it. And then on top of that, we got a Traeger bucket liner, which, by the way, have I mentioned, these are in stock here. Then we got ourselves a silver bullet. Now, there's some reviews on whether or not this actually helps keep things moist in here. And we're going to temp this later, so the meat's going to stay plenty moist. But what we're going to do is we're going to fill the silver bullet here, and just keep this in there, keep it next to it. The idea is that that's going to evaporate and keep this our whole smoker box moist, so that way things don't dry out. Does it help? Some of the things you read, some of the things that you read online say it doesn't really make a difference. My theory is, can't hurt, right? We're gonna add some beer, we're gonna add some extra salt. Those two things, when you're barbecuing, just makes everything better. So does it help? I don't really know, but it's kind of fun to do, and it's cool. And like I said, it can't hurt. So we're gonna leave this on there, and now we're ready to go. Reached the temperature of 160 degrees. This is a step you do not have to do, but if you're available to do it, I think it's helpful. You can basically let this cook till you have an internal temperature of 204, but it can get a little dried out even with some beer in there. So what the recipe says to do is when it reaches 160 degrees, which is what we've had now, we essentially want to take this thing and we'll put it in a tray. Now you can technically keep it in the tray the whole time. You can start it that way if you want to collect the juices. But what we're going to do is put it in a tray at 160, and then we're just going to have some fun with some apple juice. We're going to fill this tray up with apple juice because it still has quite some time left. You want to get it all over that. It's going to be a little sweet. See, we'll fill this tray up all the way. Not all the way, but a good amount. And then what we want to start doing is pulling this foil and sort of start to tent it. Now, we want to tent the whole tray. The idea behind this is that we're gonna really lock in the moisture. That's what we want to do. We want that moisture locked in. Now, it's key that we keep our meat probe attached because obviously, now that we tent it, we're not going to be able to physically inspect it anymore. So, we're just going to have to trust what the meat probe says going forward. You can smell the apple juice too. You can tell it's going to be pretty good. So, last sheet here. So now we have this thing tented, as they say in the biz. There. So you want to double check it, make sure you got no pockets where moisture could escape. You want to keep it like that. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go grab the app. Our meat probe sensor is set to 160. We're going to crank that up to 204. Now that's really important that an internal temperature gets over 200 because the meat doesn't start pulling apart and it doesn't start breaking down the meat until you're over 200 degrees. Without it, you're not going to be able to shred it. You won't have pulled pork, you just have a hunk of pork because it's not cooked enough. So it's really important to get it up over 204. This has been on for about 3.5 hours. So we'll give it another 3.5 hours or so and we should be about done. It's 5:36. So I started this at 9 o'clock when I got here. It's finally done. So we are at 2:06. We have everything tented. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our meat probe out. Pull this back a little bit. So you can see here. Get this meat probe out of here. Why don't you come up here and take a little sneak peek of this baby. Oh yeah, got some nice bark on the edges. You can see pretty much all of our apple juice is evaporated, so that's perfect. So this thing should be nice and moist for us. So let's take it inside and let it rest a little bit. All right, we are ready. You can see I have my bear paws, very intense. Did I mention these are in stock here? So come down and see us. Get yourself a set of these. So let's see what we're dealing with here. Let's take this pork and we'll know how good of a job we did based on how it shreds. So what you basically want to do is just get in there. Look at that, just pulling all apart. That's perfect. And what you want to do is you just want to sit here and just keep pulling it apart. Okay, so we can keep shredding this, but let's go ahead and try it. I'm trying to find a piece that, let's try it. That's good. Let's try a piece with some bark. Definitely has some sweetness. You can taste the apple juice for sure. It's not dry either, which is nice. So, let's see what we got in the fridge. We got our Cosmos Sweet Smoke. Let's try a little bit of this. I mean, can't hurt, right? Throw a little barbecue sauce on it. See how it does. Did I mention these Cosmos barbecue sauces are in stock here in our store? Come down and try them. All right, let's see here. So I just put a little bit in a bowl here. Not the most sophisticated way to do this, but take a nice bark end, dip it in there. So now we got it. Nice pulled pork. It's been on the smoker for 7 hours, 8 hours. Let's give her a try. That's primo. So, what you can do, you put this in sliders, put it in street tacos, or just eat it plain. You're not gonna go wrong. So, that's our pulled pork demo. Stay tuned for other videos because we're gonna be cooking all kinds of stuff. If you're in the Westminster Denver market here, come down to our showroom, check these products out. Come down and have some free food. You can call or text our staff at 303-800-5659. Thanks so much for checking out this video.